So, friendly people of Wicked-Whiskers, today I'm going to perform whole Turkish shave. Of course, I have my arco pressed in a bowl, because it is easier for me to lather it that way. And I'll be using first time my new finding, which is Sedef Shavette, made in Turkey. Let me just display it for you. And while I'm lathering with the two-band badger brush, I will share you one story. This might be a longer video, so just be prepared. It was, I think, 2018. My wife decided to go to some, let's say, dedicated hairdresser's shop, which we have in Serbia. She wanted some, curly brushes for hair, and I saw their Shavette razors. I didn't have any experience with it, but it was fairly cheap. I think it was Kiepe or however it's called, Italian brand. Used half blades, and I decided to try it on. Contrary to any beliefs, it wasn't actually so bad. But it also wasn't working for me that great neither. So on second hunting for cosmetics, my wife, we were dating back in the days, she bought me the first stick of Arco shaving soap. In my country it's a little bit less than €1. Online I see it's up to a couple of bucks, depending on how big package are you purchasing. But either way, it was super cheap soap, very fat, very slick, tallow based. And since I was using Shavette and also suffered from lots of irritations, my first, let's say, breakthrough in wet shaving world was when I actually started to use Arco soap, because it was much better foundation for my shaves. It also reduced my skin irritations quite a lot. Before Arco I was using various shaving creams like Brion, which I showed you, Nivea, supermarket stuff, whatever I could find, and it was working pretty okay, let's say with regular razors, but with Shavette it was a little bit different story. So I'm adding now a little bit more water, because today I'm having maybe 2 or 3 days of beard growth, and I really want lather to be very slick and very well driven into the whiskers. So that's why this lathering is taking a little bit too much, but I really had pleasant experience with Shavette up to a certain point, where this poor design of Shavette took its toll, because it had a very poor design. I will send you a close-up image so you can check it out, because it had some insertion part which you would place the blade into and then assemble all together. And after a few years, this actually got all loosened up and the blade started to chatter. I became too comfortable with the Shavette and I was adding too much pressure. So for this Sedef razor, I was inspired by Barber Turco. Excellent Turkish barber, but I think he is from UK. And somehow I liked the way how Sedef razor looked and appeared with this white handle. It really has that old vintage vibe, you know, like some old barber shop. And I decided to try it. It is super affordable, super cheap. A lot of people would say if you're buying Sedef Shavette, you just go and buy like 6 or 10 of them with all sorts of colorings and designs. And also a lot of Turkish barbers, which I was watching on YouTube, are supporting this razor. I guess for its affordability. In some next videos I will show you how I inserted the blade, because that was adventure on its own. So far I'm going very carefully, because the last time I used Shavette it was 2019, I believe. And for me, shaving with, let's say, straight razor design is not so different compared with the straight safety bar razors, because I'm mostly going with the grain and across the grain, so I'm not doing any wild movements anyhow. Perhaps for this round the blade choice was not the best one. I'm using Fly Deer 1/2, so and I also never learned to shave with my left hand. But now with Sedef, who knows? I think that only time when I really cut myself with this was when I was shaving my mustache, and you see the position of the handle, and I did this. I tapped the bathroom mirror And of course the razor blade just directly under 90 degrees touched my upper lip. So that was unpleasant experience. But for everything else, I would say it is really nice, very comfortable. You can really go as shallow as you want or a little bit steeper, whatever it suits you. You just need to follow all the other recommendations for wet shaving. Follow the path of with the grain growth. Keep the angle steady. And with a straight razor, definitely don't try to fix anything on the bare skin. So right now maybe it is time to re-wet a little bit the skin, because I feel that due to slower pace the leather is drying a little bit. So we will continue soon. So far doesn't seem so bad. Of course you won't have any issues with the wet fingers. And I'm going to be extra cautious with this trouble spot where I usually get nicks. Even with safety razors, so definitely the good option is that if you feel that it is uncomfortable, you can just dial it a little bit steeper and it will make the difference. So I have some leftovers in here because I wasn't intending to go too close to the mole, but for everything else I guess that some cleanup pass would do. So let's re-lather and continue. Alright, I saved you from that trouble. Now if you want to argue on internet what is better, straight razors or safety razors, I guess you would lose pretty much of your life. But for everything else, my point is that, and also from many barbers, that straight razors are better and easier to shave only when you are shaving somebody else. Because the ideal movement would be if you do this slanting movement, which is of course not always achievable when you're shaving yourself. So I'm definitely not targeting some areas in a way I would prefer. And I guess that shave angle could be better, but so far it seems to be BBS. I have a few stray whiskers in here, which are gray, of course, and I don't see them very well. So very minimal feedback. I hope that this wasn't too harsh. I'm not sensing any discomfort so far. But we will check what Elliot has to say about that. Okay, the neck is, I would say, safety razor level of closeness, so I'm not going to waste any time on that any longer. Now it could be a little bit tricky to level the sideburn, but now it's okay. And I'm just going nice and slow. Nothing too scary so far. Little bit of skin stretching, a little bit of cheek puffing. And yeah. enough for me to be satisfied. Yeah, I should go now in this direction, but I'm not sure how to achieve this. A little bit better. And for this, against the grain, I placed the blade, the razor almost flat to the skin. Now the trouble angle. It was better than I expected. And I would say that this is going to be enough. Let me just clean up the mole area with the safety razor. Yeah, everything else is perfect, so let's take Somchi, the last one being used, and this is it. Alright, so let's see the smoothness. This side was maybe even better, because in here I have that sideways growing pattern, which is targeted quite fine. Strangely enough, I didn't have any weepers. Can you imagine? I had weepers with Zomchi, with Fatips, with Mueller razors, with all of them. With Sedef, nothing. So maybe this is the trick, to just follow the growth pattern on your skin, to lather a lot, go with the grain, and yeah, I'm really not suffering any major burning. I would also guess that you won't notice any skin discoloration of mine. Like I said, maybe some other razors could target these angles better, because you have clamped blade and you can really go in all sort of directions, but when you're holding straight razor, then it's a little bit tricky to do everything which your barber would just slice like this. For everything else, I think it was $3, $3 shipping, so pretty nice, pretty neat, lightweight, looks great, slim profile. Let's go for the weekend. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time, shall we? Take care, guys.